Hey there and welcome. Today we are diving deep into the digital mailbag. You know that whole alphabet soup of terms you see when you're setting up your email? Well, we're going to sort it all out and turn that confusion into something you can actually use. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, does this look familiar? SMTP, IMAP, SPF. It can seriously feel like you're trying to read a secret code. Well, guess what? You can consider this explanator your official decoder ring. We're going to crack this code together, one acronym at a time.
So, to really get how email works, we need to take a trip to where it all happens. I want you to imagine your email system as a big, bustling digital mailroom.
Okay, so in this mailroom, there are three really key players. You've got SMTP, that's the mail carrier who only handles outgoing mail. Then there's POP3, which is kind of like your own personal PO box where you pick everything up. And finally, IMAP, which is like a modern cloud-based filing cabinet you can get to from anywhere. Let's break them down.
First up is SMTP, the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Its job is exactly what it sounds like. Simple. It sends email. That's it. The second you hit that send button, SMTP is the engine that actually gets your message from your server over to the recipient's server. Think of it as the internet's dedicated mail truck for outgoing mail.
So, how do you get your mail? Well, one way is with POP3, or Post Office Protocol 3. This is like having a classic post office box. You go to the server, you download all your new mail onto your one computer, and poof, the mail is usually gone from the server. Back in the day, this was great for saving server space and reading emails when you were offline.
But let's be real, most of us today use IMAP, the Internet Message Access Protocol. Now, instead of downloading everything, IMAP lets you access your mail directly on the server. It's that synchronized filing cabinet we talked about. So when you read an email on your phone, it shows up as read on your laptop, deleted on your tablet, it's gone everywhere. Everything just stays in sync.
So when you boil it all down, the real difference is all about one thing: location. POP3 yanks everything down to one device, so it's isolated. IMAP keeps it all up on the server, so it's synchronized and you can get to it from anywhere. For how we live today with all our different devices, IMAP is pretty much always the way to go.
So, quick recap of our mailroom. SMTP sends the mail out. Then, either POP3 downloads it to one spot, or IMAP lets you access it from everywhere. See? A nice, clean division of labor. Okay, so that's how the mail moves. But how do we know we can trust it? Well, that brings us to the security team.
All right, we know how the mail gets from point A to point B, but let's talk about trust. How do you know an email is really from who it says it's from? For that, we need to meet your email's very own security detail.
And this is the big question, right? Scammers just love to fake the from address to try and trick you into clicking something you shouldn't. But lucky for us, there's a powerful trio of protocols designed to do one thing: guard your inbox.
First up on the security team, you've got SPF, or Sender Policy Framework. The best way to think about SPF is like a bouncer at a club, and that bouncer has a very strict guest list. The domain owner, say your bank, publishes a list of every server that's allowed to send email for them. When an email shows up, the receiving server checks the list. If the sender's IP address isn't on it, sorry, you're not getting in.
Next up, we have DKIM. This is like a high-tech, tamper-proof wax seal on a letter. The sender attaches a special, encrypted digital signature to the email. The server on the other end uses a public key to check if that signature is legit. If the seal is unbroken, it's proof that the message is the real deal and nobody messed with it along the way.
And finally, there's DMARC, the security manager. DMARC is the boss. It doesn't check the IDs itself. Instead, it just looks at the reports from the bouncer, SPF, and the seal inspector, DKIM. And based on what they say, DMARC tells the mail server exactly what to do with any shady messages.
And this is where DMARC is an absolute game changer. It gives the domain owner the power to set the rules. You can start with a none policy just to watch and see what's happening. Then you can ramp it up to quarantine, which sends failed emails straight to the junk folder. Or you can go all in with reject and block them from ever arriving at all. It's total control.
So altogether, this security team is a powerhouse. SPF checks who is allowed to send the email. DKIM checks if the email itself was tampered with, and DMARC is the manager that enforces the rules on what to do if either of those checks fail. It's a fantastic multi-layered defense.
Okay, so we've got our email covered, but what about all the other stuff in our digital mailbag? Let's take a look at the protocols that power the other ways we talk and text every day.
Have you ever made a call using your Wi-Fi or used an app like WhatsApp or FaceTime?
Then you've used VoIP, which stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. It's this amazing technology that takes the sound of your voice, chops it up into tiny digital packets, zips them across the internet, and then perfectly puts them back together on the other end. It's literally what makes phone calls over the internet possible.
Now, just think for a second about how you communicate. Email is obviously essential, but you can't deny the power of a simple text message. Check this out. SMS messages have an open rate of around 98%. That's just incredible. And it's all powered by two different protocols, SMS and MMS.
So what's the actual difference? Well, SMS, the short message service, is your classic no-frills text. It's just text, under 160 characters, and it doesn't even need a data connection. MMS, the multimedia messaging service, is its bigger, more colorful sibling. That's what lets you send pictures, videos, GIFs, the fun stuff. But it does need a data connection to do its magic.
And finally, let's talk about the unsung hero of your inbox, MIME. You know, before MIME came along, email was just plain, boring text. That's all you could do. MIME is the standard that basically acts as a universal translator, letting your email client handle things like bold text, attachments, images, and even different languages. It is literally the reason our email looks the way it does today. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground, right? From the mailroom to the security guards and all the tools in between. So let's wrap this all up with a quick, handy cheat sheet to help all this stuff stick.
And here it is. It's pretty simple when you lay it all out. SMTP, POP3, and IMAP are the rules of the road for your mail. SPF, DKIM, and DMARC are your digital bodyguards. VoIP takes your calls online. SMS and MMS handle your texts. And good old MIME is the magic that makes modern email so rich and useful.
So you're not just a user anymore. You're in on the secrets. You understand the systems that pretty much run our daily communication. You now speak the language. So the only real question left is, how are you going to use it? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.